It's 2:14 in the morning, and you're eating cold rice straight from the pot because washing a second bowl feels like too much effort tonight. Your laptop fan is screaming. You have work in 6 hours. And you're staring at an email you've now read 4 times because the words on the screen refuse to arrange themselves into something your brain will accept as real. We'd like to acquire your project. Our initial offer is $4.2 million. You read it a 5th time. You check the sender's domain twice. You Google the company to make sure it exists. It exists. It's real. And the little app you built on weekends, the boring scheduling tool you almost deleted twice because nobody's going to use this, has just become the most valuable thing you will ever own. You do not scream. You do not call anyone. You sit perfectly still in a dark apartment, holding a pot of cold rice, and you feel your entire life split cleanly into 2 halves, everything before this email and everything after. And then you do something you don't fully understand yet. You close the laptop. You finish the rice. And you decide, without deciding, that no one is going to know about this. Not tonight. Not your roommate asleep in the next room. Not your parents. Not your best friend who's been there since you were 12. That's silence. That's the first choice of your new life. And you made it before you even knew it was a choice. Here's the thing nobody warns you about the moment before your life changes. You get exactly 1 window to decide who you're going to be on the other side of it, and that window is about 60 seconds wide. Because you already know, instinctively, what happens the moment you say it out loud. The second you tell one person, you stop being you. You become an amount. You become a number people do math around. Your best friend starts calculating what a real friend would share. Your family starts remembering every favor they ever did you. Strangers you haven't met yet are already, somewhere in the future, rehearsing the reasons you owe them something. So you decide to disappear inside your own life. Same apartment, same job, same cold rice, same you, on the surface. Underneath, a completely different person is quietly moving into your body. You reply to the email at 2:40 a.m. with 2 sentences. Thank you. I'd like to bring in an attorney before we discuss terms. Professional. Calm. Like this happens to you all the time. Then you lie awake until sunrise with your heart pounding against your ribs like it's trying to get out and tell someone itself. The next morning you go to work. You sit in the same chair. You nod through the same meeting about the same quarterly targets that no longer have anything to do with your life. Your manager criticizes the formatting on your report and you say, "You're right, I'll fix it." And you feel something strange happen in your chest. Not anger, not humiliation. Amusement. A quiet, secret, dangerous kind of amusement. Because you now understand the first rule of hidden money. The performance never stops. Not for a meeting, not for a bad day, not for a single hour. Every ordinary interaction becomes a small piece of theater, and you are both the lead actor and the only person in the audience who knows the play isn't real. You go home. Your roommate asks if you can cover your half of the electric bill a few days late. Money's tight this month. You say, "Yeah, no rush, whenever." You transfer him your last clean $200 from your actual, visible bank account. You could buy the entire building. You hand over $200 like it's your last, because in the world he can see, it nearly is. That night, you realize the hardest part of this isn't hiding the money. It's hiding the lightness, the relief. The thing in your face that wants to smile for no reason. You practice looking tired in the bathroom mirror. You get good at it fast. The deal closes 11 days later. You don't take the money into your name. Your attorney. Someone 3 cities away, recommended by a stranger who has never met anyone you know. Helps you set the whole thing up so your name sits behind a plain, forgettable company that means nothing to anyone who looks at it. On paper, you are still exactly who you were the day before the email arrived. A tired person with a modest salary and an old phone. Underneath the paper, you are something else entirely. That's the whole strategy, and you understood it in the first 60 seconds without anyone teaching it to you. Stay ordinary on the surface, become someone else underneath. The money lands. You look at the number in the account for a long time. And then you close the tab and make dinner. Because a person who just became a millionaire and a person who didn't are, for one more night, going to eat the exact same meal. The problem with a secret this size is that it doesn't stay quiet inside you. It grows. It pushes against your teeth. You want, more than you've ever wanted anything, to be known for what you did. You built something. Something real. And the only people who know are you and a company's legal department. Your mother calls. She mentions, the way she always does without meaning to guilt you, that the roof needs repairs she can't afford this year. The old you would have apologized for not being able to help. The new you says, "That's rough, Mum, I'm sorry," and hangs up, and then spends 2 hours setting up an anonymous payment routed through a home repair assistance program your attorney helps you create out of nothing. 3 weeks later, she calls back, crying, because a local program covered the entire roof. You act surprised. You say, "That's amazing, Mum, you got lucky." And you sit there afterward, hating exactly how good you've become at lying to the person who taught you not to. That's the first real cost. Not the money. The distance. Every conversation with someone you love now has a locked room inside it that they'll never be allowed into. You get careless once. Just once. You're at a small get-together, 3 drinks in, and someone at the table starts the game everyone plays. What would you do if you suddenly got rich? People say the obvious things. Cars. Trips. Quit tomorrow. And you, loose and lonely and aching to be seen, say something a little too smooth, a little too rehearsed. Honestly? I wouldn't tell a single person. Not one. The table laughs. But a woman across from you, quiet all night, watches more than she talks. Her name is Ray. Doesn't laugh. She tilts her head half an inch and says, "That's a weirdly specific answer." You laugh it off. You change the subject. But you drive home with your hands tight on the wheel, replaying that one sentence 40 times, because you've just learned something that will keep you up for weeks. The truth doesn't have to be spoken to become dangerous. A tone. A pause. One sentence said with a little too much conviction. People are sharper than you ever bothered to notice, back when you had nothing worth noticing. 6 months in, the money starts behaving the way money is supposed to. It works while you sleep. You wake up worth more than you were when you went to bed, every single night, and you're still checking the price of eggs at the grocery store out of a habit 11 years deep. And that's when the real loneliness arrives, the kind you didn't expect and can't explain to anyone. It's not that you're alone. You have friends. You have your job. You have people who like you. It's that not one of them knows you. Every relationship you have now exists on top of something you're hiding, and you start to wonder whether the version of you that people enjoy is even real anymore, or whether it's just a quieter, safer, more forgettable character you built to protect a number in an account. You catch yourself doing something new, making yourself duller on purpose, never saying anything memorable enough to be repeated, never being interesting enough to look into. You have become, deliberately, the person no one thinks about twice. And it works. And it costs you more than you'll admit. Then Ray calls. Not about anything, really. A mutual friend's birthday. But when her name lights up your phone, your stomach drops the way it does when headlights fill your mirror on an empty road. At the party, she finds you by the kitchen, casual, smiling, holding a paper cup. "So," she says, like it just occurred to her, "that thing you sold. The app. Somebody said a company bought it." Went quiet right after that, huh? Your whole body goes cold. "It was a small thing," you say, and somehow your voice comes out steadier than you are. "Barely covered my rent." "Sure," she says, and she smiles, and she lets it go. But you don't. You spend the next 3 weeks quietly checking every document, every filing, every corner of the public record, looking for the loose thread. And you find, with a relief that makes you nauseous, that there isn't one. Your name isn't attached to anything anyone can pull. Ray was guessing. A sharp guess. A dangerous one. But a guess. And that's the night you finally understand the real rule. Secrecy isn't a decision you make once. It's a discipline you practice every single day for the rest of your life. Because one loose sentence, one careless flash of relief, one moment of wanting to be known could unravel everything you built the silence to protect. A year passes. You've fixed your mother's roof. You've quietly cleared the loan your father never talks about, routed so cleanly through a program that doesn't quite exist that he'll never trace it. You've set up something for your little cousin's education that will open the day she turns 18, structured so carefully that by the time anyone thinks to ask where it came from, the trail will be a decade cold. From the outside, you look like someone who's doing fine. Not rich. Fine. A normal person with a normal job and a normal apartment and a slightly nicer phone than last year. Inside, you carry the full weight of knowing you could change 10 lives tomorrow with a single signature. And you don't. Because the same discipline that protects everything is the exact same discipline that keeps you locked one arm's length away from every person you love, forever. You finally understand why the people who actually have this kind of money vanish into privacy. You used to think it was arrogance. It isn't. It's survival. The moment the number becomes known, you stop being a person and start being a resource that everyone around you feels quietly entitled to negotiate with. 18 months in, you meet someone. Real feelings. The kind you stopped letting yourself have somewhere around the second month. You spend 4 months with her before the question starts eating at you every single night, in the dark, while she's asleep beside you. Do you tell her? Or do you let this become one more relationship built on top of a locked room? Protected, distant, safe, and never fully real? You think about who you were before the email. That version of you would have told her everything on the second date, laughing, thrilled, reckless with joy. This version of you sits across the dinner table, watching her talk about her day, and quietly calculates whether she is someone the secret could survive. You hate that you do this. You do it anyway, because the discipline saved you. And the discipline is the loneliest thing you own. You still haven't decided. You lie awake, and you run the same math you've run 100 nights in a row. The loneliness against the fear, the wanting to be known against the everything you'd risk. And there's no clean answer, because there never was one. There's only the same question you asked yourself, standing in a dark apartment at 2:14 in the morning, holding a pot of cold rice and an email that split your life in two. Except now the question has a face attached to it, a heartbeat, and something that might actually be love. So here's what you have to answer, because you can't ask a single person alive without changing everything. If you'd become a millionaire overnight, and someone you truly loved was sitting across from you tonight, completely unaware, would you finally tell them the truth? Or would you let the silence keep you safe for one more year?